What if I told you that a Ferrari is more valuable than a private island, a yacht, and a jet combined? And the other one helped define the whole supercar era? Today, we're ranking the top 5 Ferraris of all time based not just on speed and appearance, but also on heritage, rarity, and overwhelming power. Whether you're a collector, a dreamer, or just a car fanatic, these 5 models represent automotive royalty. So, buckle up, because the number 1 car on our list may be the best machine ever created. Number 5. Ferrari Enzo. Kicking off the countdown at number 5 is the Ferrari Enzo. Imagine a car so sophisticated that it took its DNA directly from Formula One. That's the Ferrari Enzo, a V12-powered hypercar that not only pushed but smashed its limits. The Enzo, built in the early 2000s and limited to just 400 units, was not intended to follow trends, but rather to create history. It seemed to be from the future from the minute it was unveiled. Sharp lines, scissor-style doors, and carbon fiber everywhere transformed every street into a racetrack. Under the hood, a naturally aspirated 6.0-liter V12 engine produces 651 horsepower. That's enough to accelerate from 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds and reach a peak speed of 217 miles per hour. However, statistics alone cannot fully describe the experience. The Enzo does not pamper, it commands. It talks to the road. It requires complete attention. One poor move makes it clear that this is not a game. What makes the Enzo even more renowned is what it symbolizes. It's named after the founder, Enzo Ferrari. It embodies the energy of racing, the grandeur of legacy, and the aggressiveness of invention. It does so unabashedly. Every aspect was designed for speed. F1-style paddle shifters, carbon ceramic brakes, even the way it cuts through the air, like a rocket. It was a milestone, a way for Ferrari to remind the world that they still reigned the supercar industry. Nowadays, it's a collector's dream. Prices continue to rise, and everyone who buys one is not just purchasing a car, but also a piece of Ferrari's legacy. Number 4. Ferrari Testarossa. At number 4 is a car that defined an entire generation, the Ferrari Testarossa. The Ferrari Testarossa embodied the strength and attitude of the 1980s. This is a supercar that represents a prestige symbol, a cultural icon, and a moving branding that has dominated bedrooms, TV screens, and racetracks. The Testarossa debuted in 1984 with a striking design. Very bold. With its flat 12 engine positioned in the center and producing 390 horsepower, it could reach 60 miles per hour in 5.2 seconds and cruise at 180 miles per hour. That may not seem overblown now, but back then, it was high up on the food chain. But let's be honest, performance was just half the story. The true showpiece was its design. Wide, low, and wild. The Testarossa stood out with its enormous rear track and characteristic side strakes, both functional and flashy. It didn't merely emerge fast. It seemed to come from another dimension. You couldn't avoid it. From Miami Vice to music videos, the Testarossa appeared everywhere. It recalled a period when cars were not subtle. They were loud, proud, and designed to attract attention. However, below the flash was a serious machine. It handled like a classic Ferrari, with elegance and balance that surprised those expecting flair over substance. Inside, luxury met performance. Leather, analog dials, and the distinctive gated shifter. It seemed like every trip to the grocery store was a lap around Monza. Today, the Testarossa is making a big resurgence in collector circles. Its raw appearance, analog feel, and nostalgic power make it more appealing than ever. Number 3. Ferrari 365 GTB/4 Daytona. Coming in at number 3 is the Ferrari 365 GTB/4, better known as the Daytona. When Ferrari wanted to respond to the growing power of American muscle and the late 1960s mid-engine revolution, they came out swinging with the 365 GTB/4, also known as the Daytona. With a front-mounted 4.4-liter V12 producing 352 horsepower, the Daytona exuded confidence rather than gentleness. At the time, it was the world's fastest production car, reaching 174 miles per hour. It was the car that alerted Lamborghini, Porsche, and Aston Martin that Ferrari was not going away. The name Daytona was unofficial, but it persisted. It commemorated Ferrari's iconic 1-2-3 finish in the 1967 24 Hours of Daytona. That victory meant something. It demonstrated that Ferrari's V12 Grand Tourers were more than simply gorgeous. They were deadly. Visually, the Daytona exudes sophistication. The nose is long, the forceful posture, pop-up headlights. It combines aggressiveness with classic curves. It doesn't try too hard, it just owns the space. Even standing still, the Daytona seems to be begging you to pursue it. Inside, it's all about focus. Deep bucket seats, analog gauges, and the classic gated shifter remind you that this is about more than just luxury. It's also about control. It is a vehicle that demands to be driven hard and rewards those who are bold enough to do so. Today, the Daytona is a symbol of Ferrari's golden age. It combines traditional workmanship with cutting-edge, for the time, performance. It is elegant without being mushy, and rapid without being reckless. Number 2. Ferrari F40. At number 2 is a car that changed everything. The Ferrari F40. Enzo Ferrari personally gave approval for this car. The last one before he died away. That alone makes the Ferrari F40 famous. But what it signifies extends well beyond that. The F40 never prioritized comfort. It was never about flashing. It was about pure, unadulterated speed. It wasn't simply a car built to commemorate Ferrari's 40th anniversary. It was also a weapon. With a twin turbocharged 2.9-liter V8 producing 478 horsepower, it smashed the 200-mile-per-hour barrier, indicating that Ferrari meant business. However, the F40 was designed to frighten drivers rather than wow people watching. No power steering, no traction control. There is no sound deadening. It included carbon fiber, Kevlar, and a fire-breathing engine. That is it. This was the closest you could come to a racing car on the road. What about the design? Aggressive, the wedge form, a broad stance, the huge rear wing. Everything about it shouted functionality above form, yet it became one of the most recognizable silhouettes in the history of cars. Inside? Forget luxury. You got red leather seats, a bare dashboard, and the sound of a turbo spool in your ears. No radio, no airbags. Just a stripped-down cockpit designed for excitement and lap times. It was risky. It was unforgiving. However, it was also magical. Driving the F40 was like attempting to tame a beast. It demanded respect and offered nothing until you earned it. Number 1. Ferrari 250 GTO. And now, the number 1 Ferrari of all time, the 250 GTO. This is unquestionably the crowning achievement of Ferrari's history. The Ferrari 250 GTO is a masterpiece, a record breaker, and a symbol of perfection that no other car has ever equaled. Only 36 were constructed between 1962 and 1964. Each one was hand-finished. Each is unique. And now they sell for more than $70 million. Yes, million. Why? Because the 250 GTO does not just check every box, it defines them. Let's start with racing. This car did not simply compete, it dominated. From the Tour de France to Le Mans, the 250 GTO dominated the GT class, winning championships and humbling competitors, rendering it unstoppable. But it isn't just about trophies. It is about design. Every line, curve, and air scoop serves a function while also resembling a rolling sculpture. It is forceful, stylish, and balanced. Even those who know nothing about cars stop and gaze when they see one. Underneath that beauty is a 3.0-liter V12 engine producing 300 horsepower. That may not seem ridiculous now, but it was outrageous in the early 1960s. It gave the GTO a peak speed of 174 miles per hour, which outperformed most racing cars of the time. Driving one? It is not easy. The steering is heavy, the brakes are old school, but this is what makes it genuine. It is a difficulty, an excitement, an experience that no contemporary car can match. The 250 GTO is quite uncommon. More than fast, more than stunning, it is the heart and soul of Ferrari. And that is why it is ranked first. So there you have it. 5 Ferraris that not only created history, but also helped shape Ferrari into the brand it is today. From the stern honesty of the F40 to the eternal majesty of the 250 GTO, each of these vehicles symbolizes a watershed moment in Ferrari's history, when the company determined to push farther, faster, and fiercer than ever before. Which Ferrari would you take for a spin if you had the chance? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're a true car fan, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.